Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to League Racing TV here for round number 3 of the TML Formula 4 Championship. My name is Ivorbrin Mike. Yes, I am back once again, filling in for one night only, and joined alongside with me, he is a regular here. It is Mr. Funky Chicken. How are you doing, Funky?
I'm doing very well, Mike. How are you?
I am doing great. Looking forward to this one. It's going to be an interesting one. Canada, where we are racing today, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It's going to be a very intriguing race indeed. A lot of difficult traction zones, good chance of rain around here, and potential for some good racing.
Yeah, it's a very difficult track as well. As you said, there's a lot of difficult traction zones, especially with the chicanes, which can cause a lot of pain for the drivers. As we saw from you in EML, that it's quite easy to put it in a wall.
Oof, oof, oof. Cutting at my heart there, cutting at my heart. But yeah, very easy to lose the car, but also more importantly, very easy to pick up 3 second time pens. And that's going to be crucial for these guys, keeping the penalties down to an absolute minimum. I do think it's a little bit easier on this game compared to previous games, but penalties will always play a factor here at Canada.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there, because I think last time in F4, I had the luxury of commentating that race, and I think Ray Meader won the race whilst being 10 seconds behind the leader, because I think FRL Charlie picked up multiple time penalties that race, which costed him.
Yep, absolutely. And obviously, looking at how this season is shaping up, we're going to have a look at the TML F4 standings right here, and we got Yeti Gleason leading the way on 50 points, but he is tied on 50 points with Ghost 72 UK in the Red Bull. Then we have LRE Dan in third, 19 points back, and then we got Great Elmo. What a name! I do like Elmo, and Elmo is great. 30 points for Elmo in fourth. Then we got 28 points for Axel. Big improvement from last season, and it's great to see it. And in sixth place, we have Atlas Copo on 24 points, tied with Kiki. So, very close battle between them, as I believe we got some people readying up. So, I don't know if we're going yet. Our lobby host hasn't readied up, so I'm going to continue on as we wait for the go-ahead to ready up and get into it. We got Cygate in 8th place on 20 points with Maximus in 9th on 18 points. And we got Ecos Blacks rounding out the top 10 with 14 points. And we got Maze on 11th on 13. Maximum Attack on 13 as well. That is 11th and 12th. Then I Am Silas in 13th on 11 points with 10 points for Oreb 1. OWR Oreb 1. I don't know if I'm saying that correct, but if I am, give myself a pat on the back, and I actually am giving myself a pat on the back right now. He's in 14th place on 10 points. Then we got Stevie G in 15th place on 9 points, tied with 16th place man Sam Picking, Sampy King, Sapim. I'm terrible when it comes to names, guys. We all know this. He is in 16th place, also on 9 points, and the four drivers without any points on the board is Storm, Di Miles, Andy Campbell, and Yanzu. As there are people readying up, and of course, for the first minute in qualifying, we will be taking a minute silence for the passing of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, apologies for that, guys. Much longer minute aside than someone was anticipating. Unfortunately, Sygate there with a few connection issues, but we have made it through it. And look at this weather. We have the rain out and about here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and it's going to be even trickier now for these guys out on track.
Yeah, the traction's going to be so much more difficult, as you said there, especially out of like the turn 1, 2, and 3 chicane. And already seen a few maybe looking at the intermediate tyres as we've got Maximum Attack and Ghost and X-Maze currently lined up with the inters on, but the rest of the majority are going for the full wet, so we'll see which is the quickest tyre.
Yep, absolutely. And looking at it right now, it does look like it's full wet conditions, but maybe those guys on the inters possibly thinking about just patiently waiting for it to go to intermediates. Currently on board with Maximum Attack, who is the lead man out on track, and he is on those intermediate tyres, and he has Stevie right behind him on full wet, who just quickly go straight past him.
Yeah, and I think the main standout this season for just being out of places currently, X-Maze and Steve WGs, we've got Maze in 11th and I think Steve all the way down in 16th. They're both much quicker drivers than that, but they've just been caught up in too many incidents, as we've already got a DNF, which is Ogier Krebs out of the turn 4 chicane and he's pinned it in the wall.
Yep, absolutely, and that's going to be an issue, especially here in qualifying. If it's a dry race, it's going to be a little bit easier to manage, but we do not know if it's going to be dry or wet as of yet.
Yeah, and literally in pretty much synchronised spinning there between RL and Kiki, who's just done the exact same as Fred, but it's spun out of turn 4 and crashed in the wall.
Okay, well, I am going to go on board with Stevie for a full lap here of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. 4.3 kilometers as we come down the start, finish straight, heading down towards turn 1. DRS would usually be open here as we break into turn 1, taking a lot of inside curve. They're very difficult to do in the wet. You can very easily lose it on the curves, and a big old squirrel there from Stevie G on traction out of turn 2. Now into the turn 3 and 4 chicane, very easy once again to lose it, and you see that he's sliding all over the show. But he does manage to keep it on track as, once again catching an absolute snapper through turn 5 as we go through 6 and 7. This would be where another DRS zone would be activated all the way down to turn number 8 underneath the Rolex bridge, braking hard as we go through another chicane. Once again, very easy to invalidate there. This time Stevie does keep the car pointing the right way, no snap oversteer there for the man in the AlphaTauri as we break down into the hairpin. First gear, and he's got to be careful on the traction out of this hairpin, and it looks like he's got it all under control, and this is where we're going to see a lot of overtaking opportunities down towards the final chicane. DRS would be wide open here as we approach the end of the lap through the final chicane, avoiding the wall of champions. And to the line, what is this going to be for Stevie G? And it's going to be a 1 minute 22.5.
Strong lap there from Stevie G, and I'm currently on board with Smitsky on his return to TML after a bit of a break. Pretty much fine. It was a very cautious. I think he just wanted to get a bank on the board here. He set to 124.2, so a lot of time to find, but it's good to get just a bank on the board to start the session.
Yep, absolutely, and Smitsky does go up into P2. As I'm just looked over at my PC and I've seen that the internet is disconnected on my PC. I hope it's not the case for the PlayStation, as I'm going to quickly have a look on my phone, see if the internet is still going. I don't think we have lost the broadcast yet, so it should still be fine on the PlayStation. I'm currently on board with Great Elmo, who is marginally up in the first sector and is currently sitting second place behind Ghost at the moment on a 22.1 is Ghost 72 UK.
Yeah, them inters aren't working out there on the track. I saw Maximum Attack on his instantly pit after being out on the inters, and I think he's not gone back out just yet, but Mays 3 seconds off the pace in the intermediates, and he can't been putting much traction out of the corner at all, so Might be worth just fitting the full wet tyres there and maybe attempting the intervals again later on in the session.
Oh, that's great. Elmo has lost it out of the hairpin there. And that is a Haas gone a spinning. As
flashbacks to 2021 there.
Flashbacks to every season that Haas races, to be honest. But Maves, as you said, he is just under 7 sap, and I don't think it is intermediate conditions just yet. Maybe in another 5 minutes, I say, we should begin the inters.
I'll predict in about 9 minutes. I think it'll be right at the end of the session, so all the times are going to tumble down. As Atlas Carpo has just gone for a spin out of the chicane just at the end of Sector 2.
That is not what you like to see, and Atlas Kobo I know very, very well. Had some good battles with him in the past, in the old TTML days, also with Maze as well for that matter. But let's see how they do here, as just gone on board with someone and they just lost it, and believe that was the Williams of yeah, it was Maximum Attack who's going slow now, as got on board with Ghost. Is he going to improve on his middle sector split? Let's have a look and see. He is 2/10 up. This could be a great lap from Ghost 72 UK, as Stevie there improves with a 21.6, and Ghost needs to find all the time through the final chicane if he wants to challenge that. What a lap from Stevie G there.
That's what he struggled a lot with the season, just getting laps on the board in qualifying. We saw that at Bahrain, where every good lap he was on, he always spun around towards the end of it, ruining his entire quali session pretty much. As Tiger now coming into the final chicane with the Wall of Champions, is he going to hit the Wall of Champions? He takes it very nicely, a bit cautious, very easy on the traction, up to the line there. I think he was 4/10 up after his second set split, as he does a 122.6, remaining 4/10 up on his previous lap.
Yep, he goes up into P4. Looking for anyone on a fast lap. We do have Atlas Kobo. He has a second up. Going to go on board with him as he comes up to the final chicane. And it is looking like the rain is slowing, so the intermediates could be the tyre of choice. And definitely looks like it's going to go. Oh, as he's lost it and he's out of the session. He's lost it on traction out of the final chicane. He's in the wall.
Wow, so surprising after that score. He doesn't normally make too many mistakes. He's normally quite a clean driver, keeps it himself, but he's already lost the car earlier in qualifying, so he has to try and get his head back in time for the race. As Ecos Blacks is currently out on the intermediate tyres. I still don't think they're in the right working range, as I say that. He's just at a purple sector 1, so I think the intermediate tyres are the main thing to go for, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see every car flooding out of the pit lane as soon as possible.
Yep, absolutely, as Ecos Blacks now coming into the Rolex bridge underneath, breaking down 5th gear through turns 8 and 9. A little bit squirrely on the exit. That would have cost him just a little bit of time. Let's see what his middle sector split is like. It's a 50.5. He hasn't gone purple in the middle sector, but let's see what the final sector is saying. Obviously, if you're on the right tyre, you're going to gain so much out of that traction zone, out of the hairpin, compared to if you were on the wet tyres in the wrong conditions. But here comes Black Snow to the final chicane. Is he going to keep it valid? How much is he going to attack it? He's going to be very cautious through it, and rightfully so after seeing what happened with Atlas Kopo just moments ago. But to the line, it's not going to be pole position, it's going to be P6 for the time being. But it is definitely getting to intermediate conditions.
Yeah, it's rapidly improving there. There was a fair few mistakes there from Black, especially coming out of the chicane at the end of sector 2. Just a bit too cautious, especially as well through the final chicane, but he's got a lot of time to find. I think he's pushing on again here. So we'll see what his first sector split is coming through turn 5. And he's, oh, that was a big wiggle, good save of the car, and he's still up on his time. The weather is changing very rapidly at this moment.
Yep, I'm on board with Maximum Attack. He was just purple in the middle sector as we approach the final chicane. Let's see what this is. He is on the green wool intermediate tyres and he bails out into the pits.
Right, good thanks to the UK, it's currently the first one on the inters, but on the actual lap side, yeah, it's sticking it on the wet, so I'd be surprised if he doesn't pull it into the pits yet, and he pulls into the pits now. going to probably set a bit, but probably going to fit the intermediate tyres and just try to set an even faster time than he has done already.
Yep, absolutely. And I do have a question. Is Ghost 72 UK Storm 72 UK from the previous game?
Yes, this is what I was saying just off stream. I kept mistaking it around Bahrain. I just kept referring to it as Storm just out of habit, so it's going to take a while for me to get used to that, Mike.
Absolutely terrible. Why did he change his name? Especially in these conditions. Storm would have been perfect.
It's a absolutely stunning first sector. I think that was 6/10 purple compared to CWG, so it's 1000% intermediates now, so we'll see what his second sector split's going to look like.
Yeah, but as he comes through turns 8 and turn 9, and now the run down to turn 10, the hairpin. He is a second up on his time right now. As Yeli Gleason pops up into second, he's on the wet tyres. So what a lap there from Yeli Gleason.
That's brilliant. That was very surprising that he started down the wet tyres with such little time left in the session, but maybe he has a bit of time to just get a couple of runs in at the end of the session. Go turns to UK now. Going into the final chicane, is he going to attack or play quite safe? He's quite safe there, just third gear, doesn't he? Eventually short trips in fourth, but now up to the line. Through seventh gear, and he sets a 120.5. Absolutely stunning lap there from Gosling to UK has done 1.1 seconds clear of CWG.
Yeah, as I'm looking for someone who is on a lap that hasn't invalidated yet. I think the next person would be Sampy King, currently in 7th place as he comes up to the final chicane now. It's going to take a bit more curb, but again, very cautious through the final chicane, and I think that's going to be the trait for these guys here in qualifying. He goes up into second with a 21.1. It is definitely the intermediate's time to shine now.
Yeah, Steve WG just invalidated on his last lap. It was only 4/10 up on his previous lap there, so I think he would have been very close to going into the UK, but he backed off and he's pushing again now, so through turn 4. Very slow on the traction as it gets a bit aggressive on the exit, flooring it somehow and keeping the car on the track. A 22.8 in the first sector, that's miles clear of goes into the UK time, so that's another purple set there for Steve, so that times are dropping rapidly now as we're just going to keep seeing improvements upon improvements.
Yep, absolutely. As currently on board with the McLaren of Ryan Silas, and he's done a 23.4 in the first sector. A couple of these guys yet to get a time on the board, and that is Maximus, Silas, and Storm. And I'm guessing that's the reason why Storm 72 UK changed his name. Didn't want to be confused with LRE Storm.
Yeah, probably, but Steve WG now going up the final, up the back straight and into the final chicane, 1.1 seconds up after his second sector split, so if he can improve just a little bit in his time, he should take pole position. Hangs it in fourth gear, but very cautious on the traction. I think he does use medium traction, so it is much easier for him to just float out of corners. He sets a 120.0, 5/10 clear of pole, and I think that's probably the lap of the, well, by far the lap of the night so far. As Mike has just suddenly disappeared, so I'll carry on.
Sorry, yeah, my headset disconnected and controller disconnected as well. You can tell I haven't done comms in a very long time, and I forgot the charge of the controller. But we are back, and as you mentioned, yeah, Stevie there with a fantastic lap time to put himself top.
Yeah, and there's a few surprises in the field that are quite far down the order. I think we know Mays to be a very quick driver, possibly challenging for the wins normally. Down in P11, and it hasn't set a time since the track became intermediate tyres, which is very strange. But we've also got the likes of Overpower Maximus, who can be very quick on the day down there. So it's going to be a very mixed up field as Storm will lose it into the wall down the exit of turn 4.
Well, we got a great Elmo who's 6/10 up on his time. If he can gain quite a bit through this final sector, he could potentially chuck himself thereabouts with Sampy King as he comes through the final chicane. Let's see what Great Elmo can do to the line. It's going to be a 21.4, so he puts himself up into P4 with that.
Strong lap there from Elmo. Sapmi King comes up the line now. I think he backed off his previous lap. It's 4 seconds down this time, but It's a surprising lot there from Ryan Silas. He's normally quite down the order, especially in qualifying. He normally excels in the race. So it's a stunning lap there from the British driver to get himself up into P6.
As we got Smitsky to the line, Smitsky up into P4 there, knocking Elmo down into 5th. I believe we got
Maximum attack.
Yep, Maximum Attack, we've just gone on board with, coming through the final chicane, big lock up there, going into the final chicane. He's going to be now running to the line. What's it going to be for the man in the Williams? 21.2, but how much did that lock up cost him?
Yeah, probably lost him a good 3, maybe even 4 tenths there. Just couldn't get any turn in for that lock up, so I think he's still pushing on, so maybe we'll see him later on the lap improving.
We got Storm in sector 1, 8 tenths up, and taking it very cautious there. It's a car like almost stepped out on him. We got Maximus there, who's gone around in the wall, and he's lost his front wing. That is his session over and done with. No time on the board for OFR Maximus.
Yeah, it's surprising they're going to have to charge through the field now if they want to get a good result out of this race, but we've seen him do it before. Now Mays on his, probably, I think his final run of the session. Taking it quite easy there through the chicane, but just wants to get a lap on the board because his third time isn't representable. They were in full lap conditions. He's approaching traffic now. Purple sector 2 there, 1.5 seconds up in the time, so he'll need to find a lot more if he wants to jump up into the top 5. As Maximum Attack has now brought a tied out on track, and that was just before the hairpins, and that's very surprising.
Yeah, but Storm I think has encountered a bit of traffic for the final chicane. He's not going to be happy with that, and I know Mays doesn't like traffic whatsoever on quality laps, so he's going to be not too happy with the amount of traffic, but he's going to come to the line, and what's it going to be for Mays? Pops himself up just inside the top 10, up into 10th place with a 21.9. Not the best of laps here for Mays.
Yeah, it's very surprising as he's not normally the best qualifier, but P10 on the grid. It's going to be very tricky. That championship, R2 championship leagues, you could say, they're both tied on points. One's up in P2 and that's his session over and done with, and the other's fighting the car. Like, he's got a very unstable setup on that car. He almost lost it from out of the chicane there. He's 6 tenths up in time. He's down in P8, so he needs this lap if he wants to try and get himself within the fight with Ghost to the UK once again. He's very cautious on the traction on the exit there for hairpin, but we'll see what he can do to the final chicane. But this could either make or break his entire race.
Yep, can Yeti Gleason get himself up anywhere near the front? As he comes with the final chicane, takes quite a lot of curb, and a bit of a scroll there as he exits the final chicane, but to the line comes Yeti Gleason, and he puts himself up in the third clutch lap when he needed it.
Yeah, it was a stunning lap there from the LEDs, and he took a lot of risk into that final chicane. Probably didn't pay off, but I don't think it cost him the position to go, so I think he was super far behind. Did lose 3 tenths that final chicane.
We got Mays, the next man to cross the line. He is out of VRS, but how much does that cost him? He improves up into P9.
We've got a very close midfield to that, I've noticed. From P5 all the way down to P9, they're only separated by 2.5 tenths.
Yeah, the thing that I will always say though, when it is a wet qualifying, that never really determines actual race pace. If it's going to be a dry race, and it never really determines it.
Yeah.
As you got people like me who are absolutely terrible in the wet, but can actually do okay in the dry.
Yeah, I'm one of them drivers. I'm not very good in the wet, but we're just waiting for Saget now to enter the pit lane and dehouse him. So that is the session over, and I think we've got CWG on top by over 5 tenths of a second.
Yep, as we'll run you through the order, it is Stevie G on pole position here with a 1 minute 20 flat, 5 tenths ahead of Ghost 72 UK, and Ghost Championship rival Yeti Gleason right there with him in P3. In 4th we have Sampy King. In 5th we have Maximum Attack, NSR Smitsky in 6th, Sygate in 7th, Elmo in 8th, Maze in 9th, and I am Silas rounding out the top 10. And outside of the top 10 we have Ecos Blacks, OWR Atlas Copo, LRE Storm, and in our non-times set we have Maximus, Kiki and Preb. as we wait now to see what kind of conditions we will be racing at here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and what kind of race we're going to be in store for, because see, this track has held some incredible races, not only in league racing but also in real life, and it is beautiful blue skies and dry here in Canada.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be much easier now for the drivers to compete around this track. So we've got a very shaken up grid as well, it has to be said. So I think we've got Atlas Copo down at the back, Maze towards the back end of the field. So I think we're going to see a lot of overtaking this race, as this track, it does offer quite a bit of overtaking, especially down the back straight into the final chicane, but it can definitely be tricky, as most people run quite high downforce around here. So straight line speed could be an issue for some of the drivers.
Yeah, and not only that, the tyre selection I think is also going to be crucial. Having raced here, I didn't really like the white wall tyres. They weren't really quick for me. They were consistent, but they weren't quick. So I think it's going to be one of them ones where you could potentially do a two-stop, two sets of softs and a set of mediums, but are people going to go for that particular strategy, as we are 5 red lights and away we go? And it's a very good start there from Ghost and Yeti and Stevie absolutely bogging down off the line, and he's down in 4th at the moment.
Yeah, starting on the cold hard tyres there, it's not ideal for CTG, but he's still in Q4, so still a lot to fight for, but goes into the UK, has flown off the start and already has a 1 second gap to P2.
Yep, as Stevie there losing another spot to Maximum Attack as he drops down further down the field. I did mention about those hard tyres. They don't really have good race pace, but they're kind of a tyre that will just last. So
yeah, they'll just get you through the race, but not much has happened down the back of the field there. We've got OFR Maximus making a move and Atlas Copo, I think it was 3 wide for seconds there, but I was seeing Storm past Preb. There's Preb spanning. That was, I think, our first incident of the race.
And that is heartbreaking for the Ferrari. Yellow flags in Sector 2. Will we see a virtual safety car? No, we will not. And, I mean, as you said, Ghost getting clear. 1.3 seconds in the lead. We've got Yellow Gleason now behind OWR Sampy King. He's not really looking for a move at this time.
Yeah, and he's got OFR Maximus now looking very eager to get past Ecos Black's there. They're both on the hard tyres, and I think Maximus probably has the pace advantage, but Black's going for the move on TTG. X-Maze, sorry, up the inside of turn 1. Bit of contact there made, but Ecos Black's going to try hang it around the outside, but Maze can shut the door easily. It's more easier for the race that track.
Yeah, Ecos Black's very opportunistic to try and go for a move around it, and honestly, I feel like turn 1 overtakes are not really as powerful as what they used to be, as Maze sends one on the inside to Smitsky and he gets the job done. Absolutely lovely stuff. And now Ecos Black's in behind. He's got the toe, but there's no way past the Alfa Romeo at this point.
Yeah, now we're already seeing the DRS trends being broken up there. With Satman King, we've also closed the gap to go into UK this lap already. So that gap's gone from 1.4 to around 1.2 seconds. We see Ecos Black's now past Smitsky down further down the field, just down the inside of the hairpin.
Yeah, we're starting to see these medium tyres start to make their way through the field and get ahead of the hard runners. Stevie doing well at the moment to keep with Maximum Attack and stay ahead of Sygate. And that's Sampy King there losing a spot to Yellow Gleason, who's down the inside into turn 1. Job done. Thank you very much. And now he can go chasing after Ghost up ahead. And the thing is, Ghost has 60% ERS. Yellow Gleason has nearly 80.
Yeah, we've seen this from Yellow Gleason his entire time throughout TT. He just likes to manage the ERS. Just normally holds it for a while and then we'll burn it all up for once. As we've seen Satmy King getting our first time to got his maximum attack, also squeezes through on the inside of turn 6 there. He's looking very eager, maximum attack on his return to the lead as well after, I think, breaking his wheel, he said, last week out.
Yep, Maximum Attack, and I'm going to use a James Head joke here on Maximum Attack right now, as he's going to try and go for the move on Yellow Gleason around the outside. He's now be able to get it done, but can he get the switchback line? Oh, he just can't get the traction down. But Maximum Attack is attacking. He's using his ERS. He's got the DRS now. This should be a relatively simple one. as he'll draw alongside the Mercedes and ahead into the final chicane. And we have a spinner in the background. I believe that is Atlas Cobo.
Yeah, it's just dropped under traction, I'm pretty sure, and spun around. And TTG's also made their past that, and I think it's been a terrible lap there for Norwegian, who's gone from P2 to P6 in one lap there. But Stevie seems to be the only one of them who's comfortable on the hard tyres. I've just seen Maximus, Nikos Black slowly getting up to speed, but still quite a bit slower than
King's
expected.
around.
Oh, that's a surprise there for the. I think he was qualified P2.
And he's trotting far down the field now. And look at Maximum Attack. He is closing in rapidly on Ghost for P1. And he's going to be towing along Yeti Gleason, Stevie G and Cygate.
Yeah, so we've not seen this from Maximum Attack before. So around Bahrain, he had to pit lap 2, I'm pretty sure, for damage, and just went with hard tyres at the end of the race. So we've not seen this level of speed where he's chasing drivers down, but I think he's trying to show a statement to us all here that he's in this championship fight. He just needs a few results to go his way, and then he's right in the fight.
Well, what Maximum Attack and Yeti Gleason need is a bit of cooperation with each other here, as they can just use each other, DRS each other, slingshot past each other, and close in on Ghosts up ahead. But Stevie there picking up a 3-second time penalty, and we already have 3 drivers with 3-second time penalties.
Yeah, a bit too eager there from Steve, turned in very early, just took way too much curve and got over his final warning for the penalty here. But it's not been a great start to this race, has it, for the OWR drivers? They're all in P13, P15 and P16.
Maximum Attack just going to miss out on DRS right here, but he is just about within that 1 second. He's hovering around it, and it looks like Ghost had a great exit there, and he's going to pull about a 10th clear. Can Maximum Attack get within DRS of the Red Bull up ahead? And it looks like he just about will do it. Has he done it though?
I don't think so.
No, I think Ghost may have just used a little bit of ERS to break ahead. No, he has got it. DRS now for Maximum Attack.
It's very surprising. I was very close, but I think the one crucial thing is Steve temporarily dropped out of the DRS range of the seeing how far Maximus is falling down the field.
Yeah, Maximus is around, and I believe Atlas Cobo and has had a bit of an issue with Storm. Side by side. Ooh, Storm, that was very close. He just come across to squeeze him a bit. You almost put Atlas Cobo in the wall.
Yeah, and I think the cork in the bottom at the moment is probably X-Maze at the moment. He's holding up equals black and hard tyres, but Stylus doesn't seem to have the race pace put into which he showed in qualifying. We normally see him being much better in the race than in qualifying. But
oh, here comes Kiki. What a run. Is he going to have a look down the inside yet? No, he's going to be patient. Smart stuff there from Kiki.
I think crucially, Steve Ducci is now out of DRS in the other season. After 1.4 behind and has little to no battery left, so it's not looking good there for Steve. Even though he is on the hard tyres, he's cost himself a big opportunity there by burning through all of the DRS early on, but we'll see if he can recover later on in the race.
Yeah, but he's dropped away from the top 3 and he's going to drop even further away now because he has no ERS to keep with him.
As you see, Maximum Attack is used some horrible chase headphones going on full attack mode there, looking to get past others, burning the he's going to go down the inside of them and just doing the smart choice and sitting behind for now.
Maximum Attack is flying right now, and Ghost has got to be looking in the mirror thinking, why, oh why has Maximum Attack got this kind of pace here? He's towing Yeti Gleason to me.
Yeah, and Cygate picked up his first 3-second time out of the night, so that already makes seven time penalties already this race, and we're only 7 laps into the race, so it's going to be very surprising to see if anyone can go the whole race without
Maximum Attack
now picks up a decent time penalty, so it's not going to help us cause for trying to win this race here, but with the pace he's showing, I think he can easily pull that 3 seconds if he can get past.
Yeah, he just needs the opportunity to get past. He is using his ERS. Storm, I don't think... sorry, Ghost, calling him by his own name. I'm making the same mistakes as you are. Maximum Attack is going to use ERS and DRS to breeze past the Red Bull. The Red Bull's going to lose a little bit of time, and he doesn't have DRS, but Yeli Gleason does, and he's going to draw alongside the Red Bull, and he's going to overtake him as well.
That's brilliant there from Yeli Gleason as stormed down the back of the field as spanning his lost inside front wing, so fortunately we didn't get a VSC plate in it as that would have ruined the entire battle, but that seems to the UK gone from P1 to P3 just on one straight alone just shows how powerful DRS can be around this track. You can get a good traction out of the corners.
Yep, and now Yeli Gleason needs to do his best to keep with Maximum Attack, as Maximum Attack has already got that gap out there, 8 tenths near enough, and Ghost, I think, is starting to just drop a little bit further back.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to have the pace of the top two at the moment. Maybe down to just the pad around this track, that is a very strong wheel track. But CWG now's hoping Ghost to do UK struggles even more as he needs to get in that DRS range so he can try and build DRS in. There's a bit of a wiggle on the exit there, gets awfully close to the wall and loses a lot of time as Ghost to do UK.
And now here we go, Sidegate on Stevie here, and that is as easy as you like. Job done. Sidegate up in the P4.
Yeah, and if Steve could think about it and just like sit behind for the moment.
Kiki around. That's Kiki around at the back.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of victims out of that hairpin already this off as the rest. I think that's the fourth or fifth spinner already. So it just shows how difficult traction is, as we said at the start of the stream around this track. So it's not there's going to be less of them spin throughout the race. You don't want it to ruin the action.
Yeah, and if anyone is listening to the stream right now, I recommend a bit of short shifting, gentle on the throttle on the exit, get the car lined up first.
We've got quite a large field spread now in the middle, in the midfield, as we've got Great Elmo 4 seconds behind Steve, and then Mays 2 seconds back, and then we've got Ecos Black looking very eager behind Mays and want to get past as soon as possible, but then behind that we don't have a driver in DRS, so Mays feels the need to go a little bit defensive there into the hairpin, but I think he's going to stick on the racing line. Ecos Black doesn't have the DRS to go for the move.
But is he going to have enough of a slipstream here? He's going to use all of his remaining ERS. And Mays haven't got any either, so this could be an interesting one. Don't go down the inside into this corner. Smart there from Ecos Blacks, but he picks up a penalty. And that's not going to help his cause, but can he get enough of a tow? And oh! We have a spinner!
I think that was Storm letting the leaders through as he was under blue flags.
Ah.
Leaders blue flags already this race. It's not been a great start to the race for Storm, but he just needs to finish the race because he's got no points currently this season. It's amazing now picks up a time penalty, and we only have 6 drivers, I'm pretty sure, without a time penalty, and we're only 10 laps into the race.
Yeah, but as Ghost, he's just about dropping out of DRS range. He's using a bit to try and stay within it, but he's on the teetering edge, and so is Yeli Gleason.
Yeah, and it's very surprising as Maximum Attack just looks comfortable in this race. So we've got another spinner.
That's Maximus.
And exit of turn 3, but Maximum Attack's showing this brilliant pace. It still has pretty much. He had 80% of VRS before the straight, now he's lost a bit down the straight, but Yellow Geezing in behind, just looking quite eager for the move, as he's got just a bit less ERS, but he does also have the best speed with Maximum Attack, which goes over to you later.
I think Yellow Geezing is happy with this at the moment, until Ghost drops out of DRS range, but does ride over the turn 1 curb there just a little bit too much, loses a bit of momentum, so that's going to allow Ghost to close in just a little bit.
Yeah, it's top 2 drivers there. I don't think they're the standout drivers. I still think we've got a lot more to see from some drivers who are currently on the hard tyres, but Sai gets for another 2 second time penalties. Might want to calm it down a little bit as he's going to lose a fair few positions if he keeps racking up the time penalties at this rate.
Yeah, importantly though for Cygate is that he has broken out of DRS range from Stevie G now, so Stevie on those hard tyres is going to find it difficult to catch back up. Now usually the pit window to make the switch onto the hards is usually around lap 50. No, Maximus is around! He's lost it on traction out of the hairpin!
Oh wow.
And now Ghost is on the attack of Yeti Gleason. They both have DRS, but who's going to come out on top here? Storm looking to the inside. He's going to back out of it though. Smart there from Storm. But now, if I was Yeti Gleason, I'd use that ERS advantage that he does have. He has 50% extra than Ghost does.
Yeah, that's very surprising there. Maximum Attack just looked comfortable in the lead there, and he just suddenly dropped it. So it's a very difficult track to drive. So I think we've just learnt out the hard way there. He's now 3 seconds behind Steve. But if he can continue, get his head back on track, I think he can close that gap up easily and potentially even throw himself back in his hat back in the ring for the fight for this one.
Yeah, and obviously with this track, obviously there is the 2-stop available and the 1-stop. I think the 1-stop is technically the better option because of how quickly the soft tyres do drop off, but you can get about 10 laps out of them. Do you think we'll see 2-stoppers or just standard 1-stoppers here?
I think if we can see 2-stoppers, I think they'll be pitting this lap, and then we'll do like another 13 laps, and they'll do like a final 10 laps on the soft tyres, like another 13 laps on the medium tyres.
They only get one set of mediums, don't they? So he'd have to do soft.
I don't know, I've not played this game that much, but we've seen Goslin to UK go on the attack of Yellow Geese and cut the chicane, so that's definitely a warning there, as Goslin to UK was looking to apply the pressure, and he looks comfortable now just Goslin behind Yellow Geese. He doesn't have the ERS, but he can save that quite easily sitting in behind.
Yeah, but I think that's Ghost's strategy right now is to just sit in behind. As oh no, is that Maximus again? He's gone again.
Yeah. It's a real shame there for Maximum Attack, but I think my favourite for the win at the moment, if we exclude time penalties, I do think CWG might have this because he's just outside of DRS Sygate, who's in DRS the leaders. As goes into the UK 1/10 behind Yellow Geese and through the chicane there. He falls a little bit behind, but goes into the UK wants to waste no time getting past Yellow Geese.
Yep, and at this point, this is where the hard tyres will start to be slightly quicker than the mediums, and that is Kiki out of the race. Is that going to be a safety car? It is going to be a safety car, but is it a virtual or is it a full safety car?
I think it's a full safety car. Just seeing
it is. Will we see anyone coming into the pits? And yet the top two are everyone in.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Steve there, because the medium's going 22 laps. I think it's doable, but it'll be very slow at the end of the race. Everyone, wait, Yellow Geese is going onto the soft tyres. Wow, that's a very odd strategy to say the pit window for the hards was just opening.
Yeah, I do like it though, but Yellow Gleason has lost it to Ghost in terms of the pit stop there, as Ghost does get itself ahead of the Mercedes, but the Mercedes will have 2 compound softer tyres, and they have Storm, who probably should try and see if he can overtake the safety car to get onto the lead lap.
I think Storm's left the session, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know if he's disconnected or all lapped cars go. So I think he's. Oh, never mind. I think he's in control of his car and trying to unlap himself.
Well, yeah. With Storm being allowed to unlap himself, we will have the safety car out for 3 laps. That is for sure. Now, however.
You go ahead. Sorry about that.
I was going to say, now however, it's going to be very interesting. Yellow Gleason on those soft tyres. I can confirm that around about 10 laps you can get out of these soft tyres, but they do drop off around lap 8.
Yeah, you learned that the hard way, didn't you?
I mean, mine was slightly worn. Mine were worn from quality, like, so I probably had an extra lap added onto it as Kiki has left the session. Not particularly happy with his performance here tonight, but those soft tyres should definitely get Yellow Gleason ahead of Ghost, and should help him pull away quite significantly. Obviously, the pit lane here is very short in comparison to a lot of other tracks, so potentially he could have a good chance of coming back through to catch up with Ghost at the end of the race, as long as he can keep it penalty free.
Yeah, so I think if he can get past Ghost immediately and just pull away, I think he still will have a good chance of the win if he can keep it penalty free, because as he said, the pit lane around here, I think it's one of the shortest like pit loss times on the calendar, just because it cuts straight out into the middle of the track. But he's
Yeah, I
added a
think
lot of spice to safety car into this race now, as we've got like Steve WG now on the better tyres, but they'll drop off a lot quicker than the hard tyres, so it's going to be a very interesting last 20 laps.
well, not only that, you got a spanner in the works and the man in P4 in Smitsky who stayed out on his hard tyres.
Yeah, I think he has nothing to lose. I think he's probably just going to be dependent on another safety car, which, as we've seen previously from last season F4, when one safety car comes out, around 17 come out, so I hope that doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does, if I'm honest.
Absolutely, and safety car is going to be in this lap, so Storm is literally getting through sector 1 right now, and the safety car said, look mate, I'm not waiting around for you to catch up, I'm coming in this lap. And now Ghost controls the pace. Yellow Gleason on those soft tyres, he's going to be a lot easier for him to warm him up, and we are racing, and Ghost has gone.
Sidegate's over moved, he was stuck in 7th gear. That's put.
On you goes Yellow Gleason straight away. Oh, I think Storm hit off the throttle just before the start finish line, but Yellow Gleason down the inside, gets the move done, and up into P1 goes Yellow Gleason.
That's pretty much a perfect restart for the LGs, and just has to try to pull away now, so we've got Maze.
Oh, it's that Maze.
I think there may have been contact there as he spun on the inside of turn 1, which is very rare, but yeah, Steve WG was
oh, Stevie's hit the back of Smitsky.
Oh, that was pretty poor there from Steve, just went a bit too late on the brake and then straight into the back of Smitsky. But
he was indecisive about going down the inside, wasn't he?
Yeah, and just a lack of decision making that's cost Steve WG again this season, but I think if it's only slight wing damage, which I think it is quite major wing damage, if it's only slight, I think he can hold on, but this tyre wear is going to be going through the roof with the amount of steer and a bit heavy.
Yes, we've got Max getting through on Elmo there for P6. Maximum attack. He's going to be hoping that he can start to make his way through the field. He was very rapid in the early phases of this race, so he definitely has the pace to come through this field. But the question is, will he come through it? As I believe the dog in the background for you is 100% agreeing with everything I'm saying right now.
Yeah, she was just asleep next to me and just heard the car go past her. She's gone a bit mental, but it's a very weird SC restart. We've got large gaps at the field apart from Steve GVG with wing damage, who's all over the back of, and it's all over the back of Schmitzky. He's going to go down the inside of turn 4. Is he going to get it right this time? Yes, he does, but he leaves a lot of space. It's nice fair driving around the outside of turn 6. Then it's good move there for Steve.
Oh, Sammy King around.
It's unfortunate for Sammy King. Strong qualifying, it's just been a very poor race for him, just too many mistakes, and we've seen him in the wall, I think, the second time tonight.
Yeah, but we got maximum attack now, getting himself up towards this battle for 4th, as we got Stevie with wing damage, and that's going to be hindering him. We got Ecos Blacks here in 5th. He's going to do his best to keep with the Alpha Tauri, and he should be able to, but maximum attack is now on the back of the Alfa Romeo of Smitsky for P6. Oh, as he hits the back of him. Oh, and he's gone. He's out. Oh. Maximum attack has lost it. He hit the back of Smitsky, and he's lost it on traction, and that is, I believe, another full course safety car.
Yeah, and I think this is I think Ghost got some bad karma there for the first safety car. We just overtook Yellow Gleason. He's just been overtaken by Sidekick just before the SC came out there, so I think he had a big wobble out the final chicane and lost a few seconds, so I thought he was the one who went around when I saw the yellow flag, but got away with it there, Storm. Could have been a lot worse.
And what this does, it absolutely destroys Yellow Gleason's chances here.
Yeah. I think he might have had this in the bag, especially with Steve WG picking up wing damage and being the fastest on the medium tyres, even with wing damage. So it's unfortunate for Yellow Geezing, but I think I'm not sure what you'd do now. Would you pick for the hard tyres? Because as you said, you only get up one set of mediums now.
I mean, if I was Yellow Gleason, would you count on another safety car?
I mean, I did kind of just say before
He's
I
in.
pitting him, I think he will be going for the hard tyres, but when you get one safety car, there's always another safety car that follows. There's no surprise that it came out this early. It's just a bit unfortunate to see. It's kind of kills the possibility of the race win there for Yellow Geese, and he's going to be all the way down the order. His maximum attack leaves the session. It's been an unlucky race, it has to be said, for maximum attack. One spin led to another, and then that final incident. NSR Schmitzky's finally coming to the pits in spot on the medium tyres, and Urban Maximus has gone to the soft tyres. That's very surprising. Do you reckon they could get 16 laps out of the soft tyres?
No. 100% no.
I know this was last game and a completely different track, but last time when someone said I couldn't do 24 laps, I think, on soft tyres around Brazil, James had, I proved him wrong and somehow got P7. But, well, yeah, I completely agree with you.
I mean, well, I did 10 laps on the softs, and they did a lap in qualifying as well, so around about 11 laps I did them, and the grip just completely went away from me on the last lap in EML, so I probably would say around 11 to 12 laps is probably the limit.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there, but just want to add a bit more spice into this. So I see Maximus can push his way through the field, but this has saved the race for some and ruined for many. Like, it's ruined Yellow Geeze's race. But on the other side, the Mercedes garage has pretty much saved Maze's race. He spun himself around, or got spun around at turn one. He's seen Maximus now coming to the pit, so I think he may have got him so long time instead.
Well, I'll tell you what this does do. This does make it more possible for Stevie and Ecos Blacks to get to the end on those mediums.
I do think they can get to the end, but I think they'll just be very slow, and Steve WG with wing damage. Surprised he's not coming to the pits and replace that, but maybe don't think it's going to affect him too much, because he was quicker than Cygate on them hard tyres. He's currently in the lead, so...
I want to know if you are seeing what I am seeing. Grey clouds approaching the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Are we going to see any rain here?
I don't think so, if I'm honest, because there's just still too much blue in the sky. It just looks like too much of a nice day, but I'm saying that it looks beautiful this morning.
Hey, look, right, I'm just going to say this now, right? I'm from Wales, right? I know what these clouds mean. They mean rain is inbound.
It's nice and sunny. Just went for a little walk on the way back home. It absolutely peed it down, and I got soaked and all my clothes have gone all wet. So it'd be nice if that happened here, but we got safety car in this lap, because it'd just see a 5-lap sprint in into conditions. But I'll let you take it away the side there.
Yeah, but as Cygate, he's backing up a bit, but he's not leaving much room for the safety car, but he's going to go now. The safety car is not even in the pits yet, but going to be back in the way. Green flag racing once again. And unfortunately for Cygate, not the best of restarts here, because he hasn't caught go snapping.
Yeah, and it's a very weird track. You normally want to go on the exit of the final chicane, and just get a better drive out of the corner than the P2, but yeah, I think we're seeing Steve's
Ecos Blacks on Stevie, a little bit of contact into the back there of the Alpha Tauri, and is he going to be able to get this done? And he should do with the wing damage, but Stevie is going to fight it, but he's not going to use his ERS just yet.
I think that's why I've just gone to Steve. I think he can hold back the others. His pace isn't the worst on them tyres, but on them tyres with that broken wing. But It's going to be difficult as we're seeing Yellow Geezer now fighting
Oh,
his way through the field
I'm
side by
Silas
side.
goes
Oh,
deep into the corner and he runs Yellow Gleason completely completely off track there into the hairpin, and Yellow Gleason's going to get back past him. He's not going to be too happy with that, as the Mercedes driver there avoids damage, but it looks like I Am Silas there has a very quick setup there.
oh.
Yellow Gleason picks up a 3-second time penalty, so maybe a little bit rattled there from the McLaren.
Yes, I'm Silas. I think he did let him back through there, but I'm Silas now going on the attack on the medium tyres. He's going to try and get the switch back out of turn 1, doesn't work. Now through turn 2 and turn 3, just, can't make it work. There's that much. Now we're down to only 3 drivers this race, so now the time penalties. We've got a yellow flag, and is that LRE Storm? No, that's Satney King once again in the wall. Unfortunate race for the Alpines.
Yeah, they are having an absolute shocker out there today, the Alpines.
One thing to note, Sygate is pulling away from going into UK and is saving the RS at the same time.
Now, what I remember from Sygate is he is very quick, but he is incredibly susceptible to time penalties. And that's always been his biggest downfall, and I think that will be the same thing again here tonight, because I believe he is on, he is on 6 seconds of time penalties.
I've just witnessed Storm put it in the wall right after Satney King, and just been a horror shock the Alpines have made now, trying to go round the outside of the panel. She couldn't enter Schmidt, so this isn't going to work. As it goes side by side, you have to go. That's never going to work there for those, but in the process, Iron Tiles passes out of scope on Yellow Geezen, passes Iron and out of scope for last lap, and now passes Elmo this lap and moves up into P5.
Yeah, but Yellow Geeson needs to get a move on if he wants any hopes of being in the chance of winning this race, because Sygate, he's out of DRS range on Ghost now. He can try and build up. Oh, is that Silas is out, and is that going to be another safety car? He's lost it, and it is another safety car.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's a full safety car, so another redemption time there for some drivers who've made mistakes, but
honestly, these Alpines are absolutely not getting punished whatsoever for their mistakes. The safety cars are bringing them straight back into it. And that is the rub of the green for the Alpines here tonight. And fair play. But the only man who has kept their penalty free so far is Ghost 72 UK. And to be fair, to be the only driver without a time pen, incredible from the Red Bull.
Steve Fitz is probably going for the soft tyres now, maybe replacing that broken wing, but it'd be surprising because his pace was very strong even with that broken wing. He was right on the back of that Rico's wax for the majority of that race. The majority of that stint is going on the soft tyres, and yes, he's replacing that.
Well, what we got to remember is also everyone has fresh set of soft tyres because of the fact it was a wet qualifying session. So they're not going to be as bad as, example, the what we had to do in EML. They're not going to be as bad because they haven't done any laps on them in qualifying. So to be fair, for Elmo, Stevie, Maze, Maximus, getting to the end from here should be relatively easy for him.
Yeah, but I think the main thing now is getting through the field cleanly. We've seen multiple drivers like Silas, Maximus try fighting through the field, and they've just stand made mistakes. So you need to try keeping out the walls, otherwise you're going to see our 4th safety car this race.
Well, I wonder if Sygate will be able to get a much better restart this time around. He didn't really catch Ghost lacking last time. He kind of just stuck with the safety car and just went normally, which is not what you want to do. You kind of want to back up the pack a bit, maybe do a little bit of weaving, get some temperatures into your tyre, and maybe have a little look in your mirrors to see when P2 is having a little bit of a weave, and then go catch him off guard. But we'll see if Sygate does that the Ghost this time around.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever been in the position to do a safety car restart. I'm not the quickest driver around, but yeah, so I think you should just listen to Mike for this one for the safety car restarts. He seems to be an expert of winning races.
I mean, I mean, I have won a few, but I don't win too often.
Yeah.
Mostly down to my own mistakes, to be fair.
And me, when you had me commentating on you in F4, you commentated
Yes,
versus
I was getting that's the whole reason, guys. I couldn't win a race tonight. It was Hunky Chicken commentator cursing me all the time.
But yeah, so Yellow Geezer, where do you think he can end up this race? Because I don't think he's going to pull away from Ghost over to UK. Unless Ghost over to UK picks up a time penalty, I think Yellow Geezer won't take this race. I think he can comfortably get P2.
Well, I mean, the good advantage for Yellow Gleason is he does have much fresher tyres in comparison. The issue for Yellow Gleason is the fact that you got Elmo and Stevie on those soft tyres. And we saw how quick Yellow Gleason was on the softs when he came onto him in the first safety car. So we'll have to wait and see. Ghost keeping it penalty free right now is the best thing that he's got going for him. But as we saw, he doesn't really have the pace of Cygate. Cygate can pull away from Ghost. We've seen that already. And Yellow Gleason and Ecos Blacks, you know, on arguably better tyres right now. Because Ecos Blacks has had a couple of safety cars in those mediums. They're not going to be worn as much as probably what they should be right now. So Ecos Blacks and Yellow Gleason will have the tyre advantage, and then you've got the likes of Smitsky, Elmo, Stevie, Mays on those soft tyres who will definitely have a pace advantage early on.
Yeah, Smitsky's on the medium side, they're still quite fresh, I still have a lot of pace in them, but the two Alpines keep hitting at the end of every lap to try to get the freshest tyres possible, but if you want to have the freshest tyre possible, you kind of don't want to keep spinning the car around, it's not very optimal.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I think if Storm doesn't get a move on, he might not catch up to the back of the pack before the safety car comes in.
I think he'll be fine, but it's just a very interesting strategy there. It's a lot of high risk there, pitting under the safety car for like the second time, I think, under this one. We can hope it pays off for him, but I won't be surprised if he just struggles to move forward, especially with all the soft runners, just a lap all the time. Now, Saiget, I think, has listened to your advice a bit. No, not really, but he's...
No, he did listen to it. He was waiting for Ghost to weave. I saw it. He did listen to my advice. Sygate does watch, and he's backed off completely. And, I don't know about that.
That's a bit naughty there, but I think it's not hampered Ghost too much. He's got the run on him, but just like that.
He cuts Blacks around the outside of Ghost into turn 1. He'll have the inside for turn 2. A little bit of archy-barchy there as they come through turn 2. But Ecos Black straight through. And he'll have the inside now for turns 3 and 4. And he's up into the second position. And Psychic gets a penalty, and so does Ghost. It is all there now for Yellow Gleason.
Yeah, that was really surprising there from Ghost and TK. It just looked a bit sloppy. Just turning a bit too. I didn't have time to correct the cars.
Elmo's gone.
Yes, Atlas Corpo as well had a bit of an issue. He's gone down the order, but Elmo's fully spanned the car.
Now we got Stevie G with soft tyres, a bit of clear air, and we're going to see him rapidly close up to Smitsky here.
Yeah, I think he just gained around 6 tenths with that chicane alone, so that was just shows the power of them soft tyres, but they just need to make sure they don't, the heated tyres don't worsen too much, because they could just affect themselves into it for the rest there. We've seen Smitsky gone for a move on prep down the inside, quite a simple move, into the power chicane, it's clear in the braking zone. Keeps it within the track limits as well, and just good move there.
Stevie though, Stevie straight out the final chicane. He had a very good exit, and he is closing on the OWR prep, but he's not going to be close enough at the moment, but he should have the traction out of turn 2 to maybe have a little peek. Yeah, a little bit of a wobble there as Yellow Gleason's on the back of Ghost 72 UK now. And this is what we wanted to see, the championship rivals here going toe-to-toe on track and for a podium nonetheless. Possibly the race winner. I haven't checked the pens yet, and Not at the moment. Ecos Blacks is in position to take the win here.
Yeah, it's been a good race after the American, but one person I just want to mention, he's fallen down the order a bit this lap just due to the tyres, but Preb has had a brilliant recovery drive from being the first one to spin to being in a P5.
Oh, Ghost goes deep into the hairpin. Jelle Gleeson switches onto the inside, and now Jelle Gleeson will have DRS, and he's right behind the Red Bull now, and this should be job done as we've got Ecos Blacks up ahead, closing in on Cygate. I don't think DRS has been activated yet, so he hasn't got past him at this moment in time, but Ecos Blacks now. Now this is the battle for the win. Ghost and Jelle Gleeson. Ecos Blacks with another penalty, and now Jelle Gleeson into a net race winning position.
Yes, CTVG is also ramping up the speed there, going down the impact. He gets the brilliant traction on the exit there, turn 2, now into turn 4. Gets himself up into P5, and I think if Steve, I think he's on the other
Oh, Ecos Blacks is gone! He's lost it, and he's dropped behind both Jelle Gleeson and Ghost here. So Ecos Blacks now has dropped down the order. Oh no!
Steve swung the car, and I think he was going to be the favourite.
And Smitsky and Sam B. King has gone as well.
Oh no, and that's another safety car, or maybe a VSC, but that's.
Oh, as Preb gets a 5-second for a severe collision.
It's a VSC. But that's very surprising now from Steve. He looked very comfortable in soft tyres, just took too much curb and lost the car. He was only a second behind got into the UK and Yellow Geezer with soft tyres and only 3 seconds. I think he had a great chance at the win there, and he's just thrown it all away. But
would anyone gamble for the soft shit?
Yellow
Geezer has. Oh no, sorry, Cygate has. Cygate has, sorry.
I think he might have got mixed up there. It is only a VSC, unless it's changed, but
he isn't going to lose as much time, and he will have soft tyres. He could get our fastest lap as well.
Yeah. We've got another penalty there for Sammy King for a collision with Smitsky. I think that's 10 seconds worth in this lap alone, but as now the race has got back underway there, and
and Preb's out. Oh no, he's just managed to keep his wheel on, but he's lost his front wing there. As
goes out to the UK defending, sorry for cutting you off there, but goes out to the UK has just been overtaken by Ecos Blacks, and goes out to the UK was looking to go for the move when Yellow Geezer's been overtaken in the process.
And now he does have that car in between both him and Ghost here. We've got a yellow flag, and I think that's Maze who's around in the middle sector.
Yeah.
Yellow that covers the inside, and Blacks is going to go straight through, but Yellow is going to get the better exit, and they're going to be side by side down towards turn number 1.
Needs to be careful of Ghost in behind though, because Ghost can easily just pounce within an instant and just get removed from that. Ecos Blacks looks comfortable to win this on track at the moment, but a medium tyres may deteriorate by the end of this race.
I mean, if I was Jelle Gleeson, I wouldn't mind this at all. Like, having Blacks ahead, I would not mind this at all, you know, just DRS has, we've got a yellow flag, and that's Maximus there, who is around. He's going to rejoin just ahead of Cygate on those fresh soft tyres. And Cygate, who I think's on the hunt for the fastest lap. I think he took the gamble just because he had so many time pens and could potentially still get a good position as he goes Blacks it. Bad traction out of the hairpin. And that's going to allow Jelle Gleeson to get the run. And we got Ghost in behind, who also has DRS. Is Ghost going to get through into turn 1? It's got another yellow flag. That's Smitsky.
One person who's, as I was saying about Preb having a good recovery drive, his teammate is now in P4. He's got 6 seconds worth of time penalties, so I think he's trying to get past Blacks here, and I think he could be on the podium. I think he might be on the podium to get past.
Yep, and there goes Cygate with the new fastest lap of the race. So good going there from the man in the Aston Martin, as I mean, you mentioned it, Atlas Copel, he is in the mix right now as we got Ecos Blacks, Yellow Gleason and Ghost all scrapping out for the top spot. They've allowed, contact there! And that's Ecos Blacks and Ghost. Ghost has no front wing now, I don't think.
I don't know even what happened there. I think Blacks might have just had a bit of a snapper and just tried to correct it, and that's UK's race done. That's heart red. That's it's so unlucky that goes out to UK. It's not Blacks' fault if he had a bit of a mistake, but he's struggling a lot now as Blacks on high. It just seems to have no traction anymore, and Atlas Copel is probably going to breeze by if he can.
Well, we got Yellow Gleason on 38% ERS. Ecos Black's probably on the best tyre out of all these guys right now, but he does have that extra penalty. Goes into the pits, and absolute heartbreak for Ghost there. He's going to lose out massively in the championship now to Yellow Gleason.
Yeah, practically flawless race by himself, bar the 3 seconds.
Oh, is Atlas Copel's lost it?
Oh.
Now Sygate's up in the third.
What is happening this race? Jesus.
I think Smitsky coming out of the pits, Atlas Copel looked like he was trying to give Smitsky the room and that, because obviously even though Smitsky would ghost, you still have to give the room. He just had too much angle in that corner and he's lost the car on traction.
Yellow Geezer just got overtaken in turn 6, got the perfect switch back and gone straight back into the lead there, but Ecos Black looks hungry to win something. Maybe he could have a penalty removal, so it's not going to dive down the inside of the hairpin, but I think he's going to try to set up the exit. He goes a lot deeper than Yellow Geezer, maybe get better traction, but doesn't have much ERS, but I think it's Yellow Geezer, so I think he's going to make it move down to the final chicane.
Yeah, but as Ecos Black's now overtaking Yellow Gleason, into the lead goes to McLaren. As Sygate picks up another time penalty, and I was just about to mention Sygate coming through with some pace right now. He might be able to somehow keep a podium, but with that extra penalty, probably not now.
What's going to happen next to these final 2 laps with Yellow Geezer and Ecos Black's going to collide? I don't know what's happening anymore, to be honest. It's just been carnage left, right and centre. Maximus, who was pretty much dead last for the majority of this race, is now up into P4. And onto the podium.
Absolutely, as Sygate now is on the back of Yellow Gleason, and Ghost now getting through Storm. It's a damage limitation now for Ghost, and I think that's probably where he's going to end up. He's too big of a gap to Stevie up ahead for him to catch.
Yeah. I think Stevie is also on top. It's not as, obviously not as fresh, but I don't think he's going to gain 7 seconds, whatever he needs in them 2 laps.
And here goes Sygate getting through. Oh, it's Yellow Gleason there. Big snap on the exit of the final chicane, and this is the big question now. Can Ecos Blacks pull out enough of a gap on Yellow Gleason? Oh no, Ecos Blacks has lost it!
Oh my, what is happening?
Oh my god! On the final lap of the race.
He was 6 tenths away from the 3-second gap he needed to Yellow Geezer, and with the car in between them. Very surprising.
Oh! Yellow Gleason's lost it! No, Ecos Blacks back through! And Maximus is up in the third! Can Maximus win this race?
I think Yellow Geezer still only has a 3-second time penalty, so he's going to win this race if he doesn't the final time penalty, but with how this race has been, it won't surprise me if he gets it through the final chicane. He just needs to keep it on the track now. He's struggling so much on hard tyres, and he's only been on them 16 laps. I think we've seen Smitsky letting all the cars through now. Yeah. I think he just wants to finish the race early as well.
Yep, and we've got Sygate who will cross the line in first place. He's not going to stay there, but crosses the line, picks up the win on track. Blacks who is on, and Yellow Gleason does take the win in the end.
Only by 2 tenths after Blacks spun on the first corner on out of turn 3. Yeah, the geezer did not make that easy for himself whatsoever, but he's got the win, it's the main thing. He comes back easier and over Maximus rounding out the podium.
Yep, and draw a good drive there from Maximus to get himself back up into a podium position. Sidegate showing great pace at the end, but once again, I said it earlier in the stream, Sidegate has pace. It's just his collection of penalties which always seems to let him down, and it did again here tonight.
It's a very difficult track to keep in the track limits. I think everyone knows that he's driven this game on strict corner for him, but that 12 seconds, that's cost him he was quite
Win.
far clear in P1 as well. So if he just had 6 seconds left, I think he'd have won that quite easily.
Yep, as we are waiting for the podium now to come out, and it is going to be Jelle Gleeson who takes victory here in Montreal at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and with his championship rival in Ghost having that incident at the end, how heartbreaking that's going to be for the Red Bull driver, and a lot of points lost on his championship rival now.
Yeah, and I just want to point one thing out. Maximus got on the podium with 5 pit stops. Oh, what a race we have witnessed.
Yeah, but I thought Canada 2011 was unpredictable. This was unpredictable all the way through as well. But it is Jelle Gleeson who comes out on top here with a victory ahead of Ecos Blacks in second place, and OFR Maximus rounding out the podium. Saige in 4th, Atlas Kobo in 5th. Great Elmo in 6th, Stevie in 7th, Ghost so near but so far in P8, and then we got Maze in 9th, and then we got LRE Storm rounding out the top 10. Then outside the top 10 we have Sampy King, who does have the fastest lap of the 12.5, a good lap there from OWR Sampy King. OWR Preb in 12th, NSR Smitsky, who finished a lap down, so he is the last of the finishers. And then our DNF list is I Am Silas, Maximum Attack, and Kiki. So that brings an end to what has been a very unpredictable race, but I'm going to come to you now and ask you for a driver of the day.
God, you've made this a difficult choice. Well, I think I'm going to go for Maximus, just because I think he had a few spins early on, just kept his head down, didn't retire in the pit lane, didn't leave the session, and has just ended up on the podium, because that's what can happen in league racing. Just one safety car is all you need, and then we get 4 more, and you're right back in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Maximus, worthy contender for driver of the day. For me, I think, even though he made a mistake towards the end of the race, I do think Jelle Gleeson did drive absolutely fantastic throughout the majority of the race, made the right calls at the right time, had his strategy completely wiped away from him when he made that pit stop under the second safety car to come onto a set of hards, but he stuck with it and he managed to come out with the win. Bit of luck involved maybe, but sometimes you need that in league racing if you're going to pick up wins.
Yeah, I think it is also worth just nominating Ghost into the UK for driver of the day. Just drove flawlessly, and it was another driver's mistake which cost him, unfortunately.
Yeah, but also another worthy contender for driver of the day as well. Now, obviously, I haven't commentated so far this season, so I don't know if you do driver interviews for the podium after the races. For the season, are we doing podium interviews, or
Yeah, we can do. I'll just try and get them all in now. Why did I just check the wrong person? Maximus.
Well, we'll see if anyone does want to jump in for a podium interview, but if they do not, then Ecos Blacks is down to come in, and so is Jelle Gleeson. So
Yeah,
that is 2.
always comes in. I'll just send them in the invites. So got. So it was a chaotic race, to say the least. Out of breath.
I don't think. There we go. All three of them are down to come in for a podium interview. So we wait for them to join the party, and I have a lot of messages on Discord that have popped up, and I don't like to see all those messages on Discord.
I think I have to have Yellow Geezer added to send invites, and I remember him sending in a friend request. I can't remember if I actually accepted it. I don't think I did. Oops. Maximus. There we go. There we go. I've sent them all invites. Hopefully that can beat them.
Alright, I gotta remember where the cars and that now. Well, we have been joined by the man who finished in second place. We're just gonna wait to see if our race winner and our other podium finisher does join the party. And we have been joined by our race winner. Is Maximus gonna show up?
Yeah, I've sent him an invite, so we'll just give him another minute or so, and we can maybe just get started with our race winner.
Yep. One thing before we get started, do you have both of your voices on shared?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so we shall start with the man who won the race in possibly the most unpredictable fashion I think I've ever seen in league racing. Yeli Gleason made a final couple of laps filled with ups and downs. Did you think it was all over after you lost it on the penultimate lap, I think it was?
I didn't lose it, right?
You had a snap, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. I think I was just a little bit pressured. I was losing positions a lot, so I tried to keep like myself cool, but you know, I think everyone in front of me was spinning, so you know, I should have. I did win the race, but only with a margin. I think Blacks should have won that one because you know he wasn't struggling at the end, and then he spun. So and that was the stage where I was struggling. So if he kept it together, you know, he would have won. So, but I don't think I should have next time just keep my head cool because Blacks was coming after me again because I was like struggling with the tires, and then a little bit too much snaps in the last lap or two, I think.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you were struggling coming to the end of the race on those hard tyres. Obviously, the strategy also changed massively for you coming into the pits in the first safety car, checking on a set of softs, and I'm guessing you were going to do soft to the end at that point, but another safety car changed it for you.
I don't know what happened. The engineer was talking to me, and so I couldn't get the menu up to change the tire. It was telling me to switch to hards, and I wanted to do another medium stint. And then I saw it wasn't showing me the medium, so it put me on soft. Obviously, if you go from right to left, it's hard, medium, soft. And it skipped the medium, so I went on the soft. And I later checked if I would have pit, then I would have been on used medium. So I don't know what type of glitch that is, but apparently I only had one set of mediums for the race. Maybe that had to do something with the rain, I'm not sure. But that was very weird, so yeah, I tried to pull away, and then another safety car came, so I just went on the hards, and yeah, I was, you know, lucky that a lot of people were spinning and going into the pits with another safety car after that, so I was pretty high up again after that.
Well, I'm going to give you a bit of information. You only get one set of mediums for the race now on this game, unfortunately. there isn't a second set available to you.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why the
Shit.
mediums didn't pop up for you. But
Okay.
yeah, now you have that information to take forward into future races.
Is that with
Uh,
every tire?
well, no, with
With the
the softs you
softs.
have your softs from qualifying, but they'll
Okay.
be used from qualifying. I think you have one set of
Mhm.
hards and one set of
Oh,
mediums
okay.
on this game.
I didn't know, honestly.
But
Okay.
yeah, Funky, do you have any questions for our race winner?
I just want to know what were you planning to do on that final lap? Because I know Blacks was only need I think 6 tenths to win the race, and were you planning on pushing loads or just trying to keep it conservative and just guaranteed P2?
Yeah, I wanted to, keep it steady, and but then I saw Black spin, and I thought he had the same amount of penalties I did, and then later on the lap, I saw he had another 3 seconds. I don't know if he got it that lap or not,
Yeah,
but
it.
okay. And I was trying to keep it together. I thought we were on the same time penalties, and so I was, I had a big snap, and then I felt like I don't know what happened to the tires, but the whole lap was just slippery, and he overtook me again, and I don't know what happened. Maybe I had wing damage because my straight line speed seemed to lack as well. In the last straight, I might have touched the wall somewhere, beginning sector 2 or something. Um, but yeah, I won by 2 tenths, and honestly, I think to Blacks, I think your race win will come soon enough. I think he was second last week around. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's been up there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously with Ghost taking a bit of a hit here today, that win obviously gives you a massive advantage now in the championship. It's still early doors, but who do you think are going to be your main competition for this championship? The deeper we go into the season.
Um, I think um, I with the wet conditions, I think ABS is going to be a competitor. But also, I think Blacks and obviously Ghost is. We're tied on points right now. I don't know what happened in the last few laps. I saw him falling down. I think a lot of soft runners all of a sudden. I don't know where they come from, but I think he'll be my main competitor, and I'll have to see. Like I remember, I think a year back, Ray Meter was also in here, and the last seasons he was just I think seconds in front of me after every race. So everything can happen apparently during a season. So
Yep, and Funky, do you have any more questions? I tried to fill it in so you could think of another one if you had one.
No, I don't have any more,
Okay,
unfortunately.
well, obviously, mate, massive congratulations on your win tonight. Go and enjoy your evening.
yeah, thank you.
And now we move on to the man who finished in second place, and it was a very good performance tonight from you, Bax, and so near, but that one mistake at the end. Did you think it was that after you made that mistake? Did you think it was completely out of the question at that point?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty much over. I still kept pushing though, because I honestly didn't know what happened to him. I thought he was having pad or wheel issues, and the only thing I was thinking was, okay, let's just try to get second. And I saw he was again at like 2 seconds, and then I made another huge mistake in the final chicane coming to the checkers. So that was probably the 2 tenths I needed. But yeah, and I mean, I'm not really mad, honestly. Well, I mean, I am mad about the last lap, but how the race went, I'm actually pretty happy.
Yeah, it seemed like Scott, you was right in the thick of it tonight, having a fair few battles. Now we saw a lot of side by side action. The one thing I want to ask, I didn't quite catch it on the stream, uh, was what happened with Ghost. Did you lose it in front of him or something?
Yeah, I was right on the Mercedes of Gel, and then in the chicane, I hit the back of him, and I was trying to kind of regain momentum, but I was going so slow, so and when you're going slow, it's kind of hard to pick the traction up. So I lost it coming out of the corner, and he hit the back of me. So I feel bad for him because all that was my fault, but it wasn't like it was intentional. But I understand it because a few people are upset with me. But honestly, I don't feel like I really did anything wrong besides with Ghost. That was about it.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes like that can happen. A little snap of oversteer, driver gets caught up in it. It does happen quite a bit, and obviously, it seemed like those mediums were treating you very good at the end as well. Some good pace shown on the mediums. Was you surprised at the pace that you had on the mediums?
Um, to be honest, not really, because the mediums are just such a good tire on this game. But in the last like 4 or 5 laps, it was starting to get really, really cool on the track. So the hards were starting to struggle for tire temp, and I was hearing the Gels interview about how he was losing grip. So that's what I realized now is that his tires were just losing grip, and I saw it was actually going to be cloudy at the end, and that's kind of the main reason I went to the hards because I wanted as much grip and heat as possible. So yeah, but what a crazy finish! I never seen so many twists and turns in the last 5 laps. That was not good for my heart, but still got a podium, so I'm not too mad.
Yeah, and a very well earned podium as well. Funky Chicken, do you have any questions for the man who finished in second place here tonight?
Yeah, I've just got one question. Like, you had quite a poor qualifying, as we said. So did you expect to be fighting for the podium, or do you think it was just a bit fortunate with the safety cars? I thought you had brilliant pace that entire race.
Um, yeah, I mean qualifying on this game has just been my weak spot. Seems like every race I'm just PSGL here or whatever league, it's just not going well for me. And I kind of have to start probably like around 10th to 14th place and just work my way up. And yeah, and that last lap in qualifying, I just had no confidence, no grip, and I probably should have pushed it just to see what I would have had. But yeah, just terrible qualifying. That's basically been the name of the game, but good race pace as usual too. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, if I can get the qualifying better, we definitely can start contending a lot more because track position means so much with the new tire rules and what tire you can start on. So, yeah, I mean, if we get the qualifying right, we'll be better.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously with a podium here tonight, is this where we're going to start to see the form change in our for you in moving forward for the rest of the season?
Um, well, I mean, we gotta stop having much stuff happen. First, Bahrain, I got taken out by desync, and then second race I underfueled and took out the Mercedes, and then here just back qualifying. So if we could put a whole or whole qualifying and race together, we may actually be in the hunt. But we'll see in Baku because straight line speed is going to be absolutely king there. So and basically what the winner said too, got to be better with the ERS management. And I think today my ERS management was pretty poor, but I knew how much quicker I was than most of the people in front. But they were fighting me pretty hard, which is all right. That's racing, and their job is to frustrate you as much as they can. So they were doing a good job of that. But glad I pulled through, and congrats to the podium.
Yep, and massive congratulations to you on second place here tonight. Go and enjoy
Thanks.
your evening.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
And now we move on to our final man on the podium, and a very surprising podium because you had almost a Jenson Button-esque type race where he was at the back towards the front, down towards the back, and back up to P3 in the end. How was that for you, mate? as you should be. And obviously, what lesson we can take out of this for you is no matter how bad a race can be going, it can turn around in an instant, and that is the biggest lesson that a lot of people can take away from this, especially with the 5 pit stops for now. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to talk about your teammate as well, which obviously your teammate at the end, what's called, he made that pit stop in the virtual safety car for a fresh set of soft tires, and he absolutely breezed his way through the field to take the win on track. But again, I've said it many times with Psyche, penalties seem to be the thing that always let him down. Were you in a party with him, and was he losing his mind with the amount of penalties he was getting? Yeah, absolutely, and he does have the pace. He just needs to sort out those penalties. But obviously, with him having such a fantastic comeback for the field after pitting into that virtual safety car, does mean a nice chunk of points that Aston Martin as a team gain in the constructors. Is that something that you guys are potentially looking at? Maybe challenging the Red Bull and Mercedes currently at the top at the moment? Yeah, but definitely a nice chunk of points that was gained tonight in the constructors, and good points for both you and Sygate and the drivers as well. Funky Chicken, do you have any questions for Maximus?
Just a short one. So after like the poor start with a couple spins, did you keep your head up or did you lose a bit of like passion like after the spins?
And obviously, I have a final question. I hope Gleason and what's called Blacks are still in here. I want to ask, how are you feeling for the next race in Baku? Yep. Blacks, how about you? How are you feeling for Baku next week?
Um, it just depends on how my practice goes, to be honest. If I find a sweet spot in the setup, yeah, I feel pretty confident. Honestly, for Canada, I didn't really find like I hit the sweet spot, but I did find something for right before the race that gave me a little bit of confidence, and it built as the race went. So I do also think downforce is going to be something big, because tires do wear a lot here, and that second sector you can actually gain a lot of time through there. So I don't know. It's just going to depend what strategy and setup, who has the best and who can maximize either straight line speed or downforce. So we'll see.
And finally, Gleason, if you are still with us, how are you feeling for Baku next week?
Um, yeah, it's a good track, but yeah, very tricky. Lots of walls, so yeah, it'll be probably full of safety cars. So yeah, it probably comes down to strategy that race.
Okay, so a lot of insight in that for next week, guys. Congratulations on the podium, and yeah, Funky Chicken. I think it's time to wrap up the stream, mate. And obviously, you'll be here next week for Baku, hopefully, but I shall not be unless I am needed to step in last second again.
Well, thank you for tonight, Mike. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, and thank you to our podium for joining us in the interview, and to everyone who has been watching the stream. And until next week, guys, this has been Formula 4 in TML on League Racing TV. Make sure to catch up on all of the TML action that has taken place this week, and EML as well. And we shall catch you next week for round number 4 at the Azerbaijan GP in Baku. Until then, guys, have a good one.